Hey YouTube, Puff and Snuff here. Ian checking in once again, as always from beautiful Northeast Ohio. Here to do a quick snuff review, but it's not the snuff review I planned to do. I was going to come on and talk toke, but I realized I've been doing more Old Mill lately, and this particular blend, I've nearly finished this tin. Thought I should probably jump on and talk about it before I kill it all together. So we are talking Old Mill. Where are you? There you go. Lambic. Lambic, if you're unaware, is a beer. I don't know if it's a beer or a beer-like beverage. The fermentation's a little different. Tends to be a little more sour. Different varieties of Lambic. One of the more popular these days is a fruit Lambic, which is what this is modeled after. To go to the website and pick out parts of Old Mill's description, lightly hopped snuff, combining floral aromas of toasted Hallertau hops, variety of fresh and dried fruits, berries, and spices, pure grain alcohol, amber malt syrup, tobacco bill, red Virginia, air-cured burley, Turkish Izmir, and Yenica, and Maryland leaf. So you've got Virginia, burley, and Orientals all kind of rolled into one. One thing to mention, I think we should probably talk about the tins that Old Mill sends you. First of all, very convenient in that it is a screw top the way a toke is. Toke, though, they tend to be a little flimsier metal. They can bend, they can deform. If you've watched any of Tony Snuff's videos, especially in the last couple of months, you know how he feels about the toke tins. These, however, are a much sturdier tin, so it's kind of the sturdiness and the heavy dutiness of a Sam Gawith tin, with the added benefit of the toke style screw cap. So great tins. When you order from Old Mill, you get your tobacco based on volume, not weight. So you're not buying X number of grams or ounces. You're either buying a small, which is this, a medium, or a large tin of the stuff. And that's important related to this brand, or this blend, so bear with me on this. When these come, they come packed. I mean, these are packed to the top. They are dense. It's like packed sand. And you can see we're running pretty low on this now, but when it comes, you almost, I use a clean pipe tool, you almost are scraping off the top couple of layers, moving it to a box car and taking them, right? It's not very easy to get in and just pinch or whatever. As you work it down, ultimately I end up taking the pick end of the tool here and just kind of, break it up and fluff it up and aerate it and let it breathe a little bit. With this particular blend, with the Lambic, that actually plays an important role in the scent. I don't know why, but it does. The grind, I guess we'll start there, and then we'll go back to the scent. It's a fairly medium grind. It's a medium moisture, I think. It's hard to see there. It's an irregular grind. I'm sure it's because of the different varieties of tobacco. They all kind of grind a little differently. Light brown in color, kind of a cocoa color. In the tin, the aroma is fruit. Pure and simple, it's fruit, it's berry. It's so more, again, going back to the beer world, I think it's framboise is the raspberry Lambic, and this is probably a close approximation in the snuff form, but it's all fruit. In the tin, I get virtually no hops, I get no malt, and I get very little tobacco. I get the fruit. Okay. When first opening the tin, and you're kind of doing that little scraping off the top, in the nose, it follows suit. It's all fruit. It's berries, maybe a little bit of dried fruit in there or something with a little bit of depth, but it really is just fruit, and it's not very Lambic-esque at all. Once you get down and once it aerates and once it breathes, it's a whole different story. I was tempted at first to mix this with some of the McChrystal's hops snuff just to make it a little more Lambic-like. I'm glad I'm not, because once it breathed, it did it all on its own. So to take a quick pinch, And joining me now, good old Mr. Winston the Bulldog.
Hey, buddy.
Anyway, uh, once it's in the nose, first of all, very easy to take, very little sting to it. Sits in place very nicely. Once it's breathed, the first thing that you're going to get, you are still going to get fruit up front, and it's a very berry fruit, okay? But as you let it sit, the hops start to come out. Now, if you are a beer kind of guy or gal, if you're kind of caught up in the whole, the whole microbrewing craze that's kind of taken over at least the U.S., but really become huge in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. This is not a hop bomb, okay? This is not hops the way you'd expect to get them, like in an IPA or a double IPA. It's not that bitter, citrusy, piney hop at all. It's a very mild, very floral, very soft kind of hop, which plays nicely with the fruit. The malt is there, but it's definitely kind of that third layer. You notice less malt than you do of the hop and certainly the fruit. Not picking up any real tobacco notes at all. That may be by design, I don't know. I can tell you that as much as I enjoy Oriental tobacco varieties in pipe blends, I have virtually no experience with them in snuff blends. So it well may be that those Oriental varieties are very much kind of playing along with the fruits, and I would expect actually them to be playing and highlighting and commingling with the hop notes. But I'm not picking them up in and of themselves. The longer you let it sit, the more the fruit fades and the more the hops softly and gently kind of come forward. And it really is a very, very pleasant snuff. I think as far as snuff goes, I think it's probably as close to an analog as you're going to get for Lambic. I think it could be a good crossover snuff for a lot of people. I think it's if you're kind of that fruity, candied, sugary dessert snuff, but kind of want to wander into something maybe a little less sweet, I think this gets you there because it's definitely sweet, it's definitely fruity, but it's not cloying. On the other hand, if you're not really a fruity, sugary dessert snuff kind of guy, but want something maybe a little sweeter, I think this kind of can take you from that side to the other. So for me, it's a very good snuff. Is it a top 5 all-time must-have in the fridge at all times kind of snuff? Honestly, probably not. Is it something that I would buy again and I could certainly see myself thinking, damn, I could go for some Lambic? Absolutely. It's worth trying. I think it's worth anybody's time. I don't find anything in this that I think would be off-putting to anybody. So for my nose, it's a 7 out of 10. I know from talking to some other folks, especially online, that it is quite popular, and a lot of people really seem to be really digging this stuff. So I say check it out. I give it 7 out of 10. Your mileage may vary. That's all for me on the snuff. Big surprise, I'm headed outside to mow the yard. Pre-packed, we'll be taking with me this wonderful GBD. I don't know what the hell you'd call that shape exactly, but we are loaded up with some Galwith Hogarth Ennerdale Flake, which to me remains the gold standard of those Lakeland Essence scented blends. So that's how I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon. Hope you guys are having a good one. Hope you guys had a good Memorial Day weekend if you're in the U.S. Hopefully, if you celebrated, you took, I won't preach here, but hopefully you took a few minutes, just kind of remember what the day's actually about, and paid some respect where respect is due. So, guys, I'm headed out. Take it easy. Have a good one. We'll see you around.